Does love sometimes become the very cross that weighs on someone's dreams? For some, love is a sanctuary, a place of warmth and understanding. For others, it is a burden heavier than expectation, a force that shapes destiny in ways no one could predict. For Lamine, a young football prodigy whose name was whispered in stadiums before he even turned 18, love arrived just as the world was ready to crown him. From the first time he kicked a ball on the streets of his city, Lamine seemed destined for greatness. Coaches at his local club spoke of him as if he carried a rare spark, a fire that could not be tamed by ordinary training. By the age of 7, he had joined the youth academy of one of the world's most prestigious football institutions, a place where legends were born and legends were tested. Here, he learned more than the rules of the game. He learned discipline, patience, and the weight of expectation. Every pass, every dribble, every goal seemed to announce a future larger than life itself. By 14, scouts from across Europe were following his every match. By 16, he was competing alongside men in the academy's highest divisions, outpacing opponents twice his age with a blend of instinct and skill that defied logic. By 17, whispers of international accolades and awards began to circulate. He was not only a prodigy, he was a phenomenon, a player whose talent inspired awe, envy, and hope all at once. And then came Nicole. She was a young singer from a distant land, known for a voice that carried both power and vulnerability, a presence that could command stages and captivate audiences with a single phrase. Her rise in the music world had been steady and remarkable, marked by creativity, hard work, and a fearless willingness to embrace the spotlight. She was independent, confident, and unapologetically herself, moving through life with a rhythm all her own. Their paths crossed quietly, almost invisibly. It was a glance here, a shared smile there, a recognition of talent and ambition mirrored in each other's eyes. To anyone else, it might have seemed like an ordinary interaction. But in a world obsessed with fame, every moment between two young stars becomes amplified, dissected, and transformed into a narrative that belongs more to the public than to the individuals themselves. Soon, every appearance together, every photograph, every fleeting gesture became a story. The public began to watch not only Lamine's skill on the pitch, but also the interactions between him and Nicole. The quiet affection that might have been private in any other life became, under the lens of the world, a story of immense consequence. The scrutiny was relentless. Every smile, every laugh, every shared glance was interpreted and repurposed. For Lamine, this was a new challenge. His life, once defined solely by training, discipline, and performance, now included the unyielding gaze of millions. Every goal he scored was celebrated, yet every mistake was magnified. Every public appearance with Nicole became fodder for analysis. Commentators debated whether love was a source of distraction or whether it could somehow inspire him further. The pressure was relentless and the margin for error vanishingly small. And yet, despite the glare of attention, Lamine continued to play. On the field, he remained extraordinary, his movements precise, his decisions instinctive, his talent undeniable. He moved past defenders with the grace of someone decades older, seeing the game in ways few could comprehend. Yet even as he dazzled, the human side of him, the boy who loved the game for its joy, the young man who felt fear, hope, and longing, became impossible to separate from the public story. Nicole, too, navigated the pressures of visibility. Her career, already substantial, intersected with a life of even greater scrutiny. Interviews and public appearances were framed through the lens of their relationship. Every success was interpreted as intertwined with Lamine's rise, every setback examined as if it reflected on him. Yet she remained resilient, pursuing her artistry with the same passion and authenticity that had defined her from the start. The collision of their worlds created a narrative that captivated the public imagination. Fans and media alike debated, speculated, and theorized. Was Nicole a distraction or a muse? Was Lamine's brilliance enhanced or hindered by their relationship? The questions themselves revealed the intensity of the spotlight under which they lived, a light that both illuminated and exposed, celebrated and judged. Through it all, moments of genuine connection persisted. Quiet conversations, shared laughter, mutual support, these were the threads of reality that endured beyond the headlines. Yet the public, in its insatiable hunger for story, rarely allowed these moments to remain private. They were transformed into content, dissected, analyzed, and projected onto screens and pages across the world. As months passed, the tension between private life and public perception intensified. The world watched Lamine's every move, celebrating goals but scrutinizing gestures. Nicole's presence, once a simple part of his life, became a symbol of joy, of distraction, of scandal, and of support. The weight of fame made it difficult for either of them to exist without being interpreted, and every human reaction became a narrative. Lamine's skill, however, remained untarnished. He continued to perform, to dazzle, to prove that talent, focus, and dedication could coexist with personal vulnerability. Every match reminded fans that skill cannot be entirely overshadowed by circumstance. Yet the tension persisted, a constant reminder that in the world of young stardom, personal life is never separate from public expectation. The story of Lamine and Nicole is at its core a story of duality. Love is both sanctuary and challenge, inspiration and burden. Fame amplifies everything: affection, doubt, rumor, and resilience. In their experience, every triumph carried public attention, every struggle became a lesson broadcast to millions, and every choice was scrutinized for meaning beyond its reality. Their journey reflects a truth universal to anyone navigating extraordinary talent in public life. The collision of personal desires and professional ambition is rarely simple. It is complicated, nuanced, and emotionally taxing. The challenges they faced, the judgments, the assumptions, the unrelenting gaze illustrate the profound difficulty of maintaining identity, authenticity, and connection while under constant scrutiny. Despite all of this, their story is not one of defeat. It is a story of endurance, of courage, and of human resilience. Lamine continues to play with brilliance and dedication, navigating both praise and criticism. Nicole continues to create, to perform, and to thrive in her own sphere of influence. Their connection, whether celebrated or analyzed, remains a testament to the complexities of human relationships under extraordinary circumstances. In the end, the hardest battles are rarely those played on the field. They are fought within the heart, in the quiet spaces where love, ambition, and identity intersect. Lamine and Nicole's story reminds us that greatness is not measured solely by accolades or recognition, but by the ability to navigate life authentically, to maintain connection amid scrutiny, and to find balance between the desires of the heart and the expectations of the world. Love in their narrative is neither purely destructive nor purely empowering. It is a force that shapes as much as it challenges, a force that can inspire brilliance and provoke vulnerability. It is the cross that must be carried, the test that must be endured, and the influence that can define a young life in ways both subtle and profound. And sometimes, the very thing that brings joy, affection, companionship, understanding, can also be the weight that tests a young life. Yet it is in these moments, in the collision of love and ambition, that character is forged, resilience is tested, and true humanity is revealed. Their story, while dramatized and symbolic, resonates because it reflects universal truths. Everyone faces the challenge of balancing personal desire with external expectation. Everyone at some point must navigate the pressures of ambition, the gaze of the world, and the complexities of human connection. For Lamine and Nicole, these themes play out on a scale magnified by talent, fame, and youth, yet the underlying truths are familiar to all of us. Through every headline, every rumor, every public moment, they persisted. They learned, they adapted, they loved, and they continued to pursue their respective dreams. And in doing so, they illuminate a lesson for anyone watching that resilience, authenticity, and courage are as crucial to success as skill, dedication, and talent. In a world obsessed with perfection, their story reminds us of the beauty and challenge of imperfection, of growth, and of vulnerability. It shows that the journey of the heart is as significant as the journey of the career, and that both are intertwined in ways that define a human life. And so the story of Lamine and Nicole is a story of balance between love and ambition, between the private and the public, between the joy of connection and the weight of expectation. It is a story of human complexity, of the courage to live authentically, and of the enduring challenge of carrying the cross of one's desires while pursuing the crown of one's dreams. In the end, love may test us, it may challenge us, it may weigh heavily upon our shoulders, but it also shapes us, teaches us, and reveals the strength that lies within. And for those who watch, listen, and reflect, it offers a timeless reminder. The measure of greatness is not only in what is achieved, but in how one navigates the journey, the struggles, and the heart itself. Because sometimes the hardest match is not on the field. It is in the heart where love and ambition meet, and where the cross and the crown are carried together inseparably forever.